Well, about a year ago, I found out that he was gay and that he married this guy. And he was married before to a woman, but I don't even want to get into it, because when I heard the story, what actually happened, I got really upset. But either way, as a cover, what he did, he pretended to be a straight man. He had married the most popular girl in school, and then after 1 year he leaves her, and then he goes into, has his secret life. And then now to find out that he had this, he was living a gay lifestyle, but he kept it very private. So again, he can choose what he wants to, who he wants to love. And again, this video is not about denying adults who they love, but see, again, about truth. When you say I do to somebody, but then you're not truthful with them, and then you divorce them, and it looked like he chose the prettiest girl in the school, it was said. Now, why couldn't he leave that pretty woman alone, so that a man who's a real man, to marry her? He knows what he likes. A man knows what they like or don't like. And so I thought that was wrong of him to do that to her. But again, he has a right to marry who he wants to marry. He married a man recently. And so why share that? Like, I'm wondering what's happening. I'm not Jewish, but I'm wondering now, like when I was growing up, that people used to say jokingly things against Jewish men, and I was wondering where that was coming from. Why are they emasculate, treating the Jewish, the Ashkenazi Jews as being a wimp or girly-like? And then recently I saw not a movie, but it was a video on YouTube about certain practices that is going on in the Orthodox Jewish religion, and that you have a growing number of gay men. And I went, how could you have gay Jewish men if they're about the Torah and everything, and all about the sexual purity and things like that, and the importance of marriage? How could you have this phenomenon happening with a growing number of gay people in the Jewish community? Again, I already showed you Gloria Steinem. She's a Jewish woman, an Ashkenazi Jew, but is a lesbian. And then you have some men who are gay, and I mentioned the famous singer Barry Manilow. So this video that I saw recently talked about this. And again, this is not anything against Judaism, but I'm just noticing now what's happening even within this community about the growing number of homosexuality. And there's a practice that's done with the young boys, the babies, that when the baby turns 8 days old, that they get circumcised. That means that the foreskin on their penis is removed. And then the rabbi, this is done in a ritual in their synagogue, and the man that's doing the circumcision, after he removes the foreskin from the baby, he then puts his mouth on the baby's penis and sucks on it and takes the blood and puts it in a receptacle. Now I'm wondering, now this is an 8-day-old baby. To do that to a little baby For one, it's painful and it's traumatizing the baby, and then again putting someone's mouth on it, so it's like a pain and then a pleasure. And I'm wondering whether the phenomenon of some of the Jewish men, are they becoming gay because of this practice? Again, people have a right to practice their religion how they want to practice it, but sometimes some things should be reevaluated how you practice it. Why this growing number of homosexuality within this community, and then a growing number of the women? Now, in Judaism, there's very strict rules that's put upon the women, and maybe the women are just trying, are rebelling and say, I'm sick of this. I'm sick being considered a second-class citizen. Remember the movie Yentl? Remember that movie with Barbara Streisand? And what was that about? That movie Yentl was about a Jewish woman, Orthodox Jewish woman from Eastern Europe, who wanted to learn how to read, how she wanted to study, she wanted to go to school. But because she was a woman, she was forbidden to do this. Her father dies, and she used that opportunity after the death to disguise herself as a man and to go to a yeshiva to learn the scriptures and things Jewish. And I think I forget how the end happened, but it becomes a problem because how did it go now? Now, she meets the guy at the yeshiva, and the guy, his friend, got married, and then the woman he marries starts to become attracted to the person disguised as a man. So even that movie, they were trying to, it seemed like they were trying to interject lesbianism even in that movie. It was a good movie, but you start to look in hindsight, what was that movie really about? It was introducing two women who really do, who are becoming attracted to each other. So again, mixing taboo with mainstream, So it's messing with your psyche. Okay? So then this movie, that Yentl, that came out in the early 1980s, and then now this movie called Disobedience, which was very direct of its lesbian content. It didn't hide it. And then now you had a movie with two young men, like a teenager, and then the other guy was like maybe in his 20s, and then introducing male relationships. So it's something going on in the nation. So it's not just white people being targeted or Jews being targeted for this homosexual agenda, but it's about a movement, and now it's coming to the black community. Now we all have heard about, in the United States, this group called Black Lives Matter, but and I discussed this group before in another past video. And Black Lives Matter is not about black people trying to protect the livelihood of black people, but this organization is a ploy for the lesbian agenda in the black community. Now look, this is their website, okay? And I have about, okay, what they believe. These are their principles. Okay, look at this word here, diversity. Diversity is a euphemism for homosexuality. They talk about, okay, restorative justice. Okay, that sounds fine. Globalism also, that is another term. It's socialism. When you hear the word globalism, that's about socialism. And you find socialists, lesbianism, or they all kind of like are bedfellows. Look at this. Queer affirming. Queer affirming. That has to do with homosexuality. Shouldn't this one be the first one? Unapologetically black, but it's not the top one. If Black Lives Matter, how come this isn't the first in what they're about? Okay, you just see here, look at this, Black families is on the bottom. Shouldn't this one be on top? Black Lives Matter, that should be on the top. This is baloney. Look at this here. It says black women towards the bottom. Black women. Where's the black man? There's no black man. Why isn't there any black men? That's because black men don't matter to them. See that? You're going to have black women but no black men. And this is, look, their principles. So, the Black Lives Matter organization does not share room for the black male. And their whole point of starting is because of that incident that happened with Trayvon Martin. And look at this, our co-founders. Okay, this is her story. See that? These are all women. Where's the man? Because they don't want men. See that? If you look at their story. See, they talk about sexual orientation. What does sexual orientation have anything to do with the black family? See that? Another woman. See that? This organization, in my opinion, is not an organization that represents the black community, but the black homosexual agenda, the lesbian movement. Okay? This is a lesbian movement, but on the guise, see that? But on the guise of Black Lives Matter. That's what it's about. It's about sharing. Look at this here. Her story. What about his story? Or what about their story? You need a man and a woman for the black community. But there's no room for black people. Black male and female. Let's look at this. Okay? What is this? Is a queer black girl. See that here? Why you need that? What is that? Let's see who else they got here. Okay, they got one very young man. Okay, he's from Canada. Okay. Another female. Okay, now they're supposed to be about the black family. Okay, another. Let's see who else. Another woman. Another woman. See that? or about gender. What is that? Was never an issue. But Black Lives Matter, and they say that it's supposed to be based upon, that it got founded because of the murder of black men. But you have no black men really represented in this whole thing. Their website, and again, you could look at their website in your leisure time, and you could perusal it and come to any understanding that you may wish to have with it. But in my opinion, this organization is not about the black family, and it's about promoting lesbianism. Okay? So this is supposed to represent me and my community. This is not going to promote community, but to stunt its growth. Okay? Let me show you something else. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Okay. Oops, I didn't know that was gonna. I'm sorry. Let me see. It moved to a commercial. I'm sorry. It had another poster. I don't know what happened. It had somebody. It had something else. I don't know how to get rid of it. That's weird. Let me see. Let me try to refresh the screen. They had something else. Okay, this guy here. Now, this is, this was the guy that I was trying to get. Maybe for the, oops. Sorry about that. But that young black man, okay, now for whatever reason it's changing a different screen, but I didn't want that. Okay, well, either way, this is a drug, Truvada. It's called PrEP, and this group, this company seems to employ. Utilize a lot of blacks in their advertisements, and they're portraying men, black men in particular, in really girly situations. Now this guy, how is this man here? This was the person I wanted to focus on. Okay, now he's a beautiful man. But look how he's acting. Okay, he's a dancer. Now, where's our strong black men? Okay? Okay, it's doing. So I'm concerned. Sorry. So let me try. I'm going to turn back now. Okay. Now I'm concerned. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, hey, hi Betty. Yeah, I had to change the page. Yeah, let me see here. Okay. Yeah, I'm very concerned. Okay, make it bigger. Okay. Yeah. So I'm very concerned. Again, this is not an attack on what your sexual preference. Your preference is your preference, but I'm just talking about agenda. Now, I've done several videos about the drug, PrEP, PrEP. That last video that I was showing you, Truvada, that drug is a drug that's supposed to prevent getting HIV. But in my community, it's being targeted almost exclusively to black people, black females and black males. But where I live is not a lot of blacks. you have a lot of other people. You know, you have the schools that are here, but the ethnic group, the largest ethnic group here, are not black people, but yet it's so heavily targeting this one specific demographics. And I'm concerned that this drug has negative side effects. I believe that the growing number of people seems like that they now want to become homosexual. I believe maybe the vaccines that are being introduced to us are affecting our mind. They have these things what they call nanoparticles. It's like what they call artificial intelligence, and I think that is being introduced in some of these vaccines, and that they could be activated, these nanoparticles, and maybe they have some hormones in it, or someone like you heard of what's called the voice of God technology, and they could be sending messages, an impulse that, hey, you like boys, you like boys, you like boys, and these boys start to then believe it because they think, well, I hear my mind saying it, but not knowing that this device, which is called the voice of God, and I've done a video about this machine, this device that bypasses your outer ear and goes directly into the cochlear of the ear and sending electrical impulses in the brain in your audio centers, and you hear things. And they can make you think it's your mind speaking to yourself. And then they have things that could make you feel certain sexual urges. So they can turn this thing on and give you a sexual urge, and they do that every time you're with let's say you're a man, and they do that every time a man is with you. So you start to think that you like the same sex. Or they can do that with girls, and you get confused. We didn't have this before in our community, but now they're pushing it into your community, and it's just very rampant. So now you have the media forcing you to watch gay lifestyles. You have television that's being pushed in your face. You have the church. You have the Catholic Church. You have the synagogues, and it's a increasing number of these behaviors on little children. And it's sexualizing us earlier and earlier. So that's my concern. Again, if someone's an adult and they choose this lifestyle, that is their business, and no one should be doing any hate speech on them or beating them up or trying to kill them. I'm against violence. But what I am against social engineering, whereby people are being forced to accept certain lifestyle through these vaccinations, through the voice of God technology to make them think that they like a particular gender or not. I'm against those things. And so it's affecting our community. How could we have a community if people are if people are not attracted to each other? Here I mentioned like a little girl, she has very Afrocentric parents, and she has this pin of a cute little Asian boy, like from China or something like that, but she doesn't have a little black guy. And then the guys in my community, that then they don't show real open interest to the black girls, but to the very light-skinned girls. And so this is causing a problem, I feel. I mean, you like who you like, but just notice what's happening, and then you wonder why the anger. So maybe this is why the growing number of lesbianism happened in the black community. They feel, when a woman feels undesirable, they might fall into lesbianism. And then again, I mentioned here with Gloria Steinem, right? Gloria Steinem from the 1960s and 70s. The women's movement, she was a Jewish woman, an Ashkenazi, and she also was a lesbian and into this women's movement. She was angry. Why was she angry? Because something was happening in her community and she didn't feel valued. And now you have a movie about these Orthodox Jewish women openly throwing it in your face in this movie to accept this lifestyle. So again, it's about truth. Now, why is this woman coming back to this community? The woman is married, so why tear up her family? So again, you can like what you like. You're a lesbian, go out with a woman that's not married. But it's again breaking up the family, breaking up the home. You know, this country, I feel, is going down. It's getting deep into the fabric of this nation, and it's destroying it from the inside out, and and using the tools of what I mentioned earlier, like with the what do you call it? Like with the immigration laws, they were showing a child, and the child allegedly was pulled away from its mother, and I think it was Time magazine, some magazine, leading magazine, shows a little girl crying and a picture of Trump. Now, you don't have to love Trump, but you should like the truth, love the truth. That picture was a distortion of the truth. That little girl was never separated from the mom. They showed where they got the photo from, and in the video you see mother and daughter. And yes, the little girl was crying because the mother got caught. See, the truth is that someone came in illegal, and the mother should have been concerned about the girl's safety, but instead of her safety, the mother thought of herself and jeopardized the girl's safety by trying to smuggle her into the United States. She could have gone in by herself and have relatives take care of the little girl, but no. See, it's all about money. And I mentioned in a prior video that I'm going to air that, see, a lot of people are coming into the U.S. See, they love America. They have a love-hate for America. They love our wealth. They love the fancy homes. They love the higher institutions of learning. They love all that, and they want to do anything to come into the U.S., but they don't like you. They despise you. They don't like especially black people, and they don't like white people. But if they have an opportunity to get something from any of you, they go for it. And some will even marry. But behind your back, many of them are saying things contrary of what you realize what's going on. They love you, they love what you have, but they don't love you. And when I started seeing that, I started to awaken and started to say, you know, I'm a proud American, and I think that this country is the best country in this hemisphere. This is the safest country for me to live as a woman. I can go to those other countries. It's your target. But here, I can stay here, and I could enjoy some of its amenities. It's not a perfect system. It's not a perfect place. The United States has its evil histories and doing things that I don't approve of, but there are a lot of positive things. And we're just giving away our riches to people who despise us. I'm very, it's like a full circle now. I'm very pro-American. I love my country, and I want the people who come to my country to love and respect its customs, its language, you know, and let them work for it. Let them work for citizenship. If you just give them everything, they're not going to really love you. I used to work in a WIC office. WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. It is a federal program, and it's an in-kind program based on need. And if you have a, what do you call it? Like if you have any health issues during your pregnancy, you get a doctor's note. The doctor writes out a form, and you can get on the program. And it's a valuable program, and you can get WIC and also be on public assistance. This is the wealthiest and most generous country in the world. And when I see people from other countries coming in and then getting pregnant, they come in illegal, getting pregnant, and using that baby as a weapon to get money off of our country, and at the same time despising its people and its citizens, I'm against that. And as for the immigration, I'm for immigration, but to be selective on who comes in. That we should take the best from all these countries, take the best, that they should have skills, and that they should have the right to, if they are eligible, to go for citizenship, and that they have to go through the process. See, if you just are given something, then there's no real respect, because you didn't earn it. But people are coming in, they really don't respect us, and that it's becoming a hardship, I think, and becoming a hardship firstly to the black community, because these other groups, when they come in into the black community, they're not going directly into the white communities. They come in through the black communities or right next to our communities, so we get affected first. But again, I'm not supposed to say that because it's considered biased, but I'm being truthful. There's nothing wrong with immigration, but legally, and be careful who comes in, and that they have to earn coming in there, so then you know that they really want to be a part of your team. Even being a gang member, right? You have to go through a process and initiation to prove your loyalty. But then a lot of these new people are not loyal. And then what you can have all this chaos. And then you could have terrorism. I don't want the U.S. to turn into what's happening in the United Kingdom with what they call the grooming gangs, the sex gangs that are pimping out the women there. And I think it's also part of the sex trade and what they call the pedophilia market. I think that's what it's all about. So we have to be careful. I don't want that to happen here in the United States. So I know I said a lot. And let me see here with Betty here. Let me see what you're saying. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, I know I was talking a lot. I'm trying not to move my head. I try to keep my head on the camera, because if I move a lot, the camera goes out of focus. Let me just see here what Betty has. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Betty, let's see. It's a medical fact that most gay people are born with the gender preference already embedded in their brain. That could be. And Jewish gay people have been oppressed. Okay. And people born with the influence of being gay or choose to be gay in any color doesn't bother me. We are all of the human race first. It's better we accept all ways of living in a loving manner. Yes, yes. And let's see, back in the day, gay people were revered by the Native American communities. A lot of them were medicine healers or counselors because of the female and male influence. I guess I can't comment anymore because I haven't seen the movie you are talking about. Okay. Let's see. And then the last comment says, Betty, look, I've never heard about the Native American communities before, but it sounds like the kind of the thing the gay community would make up out of thin air. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Native American community and with gay people, but again, this video is not about a slam dunk on someone who chooses that lifestyle. My concern is those people who are becoming sexualized to become one, whether by vaccines or the voice of God, because they could use and stimulate parts of your body to respond a certain way during a certain time. And that is a growing number. I don't think it's something that's being done out of the hat. I don't think it's an organic phenomenon. But those people who are, they are who they are. But it's a movement, and it's to, in my opinion, to take over what already exists. Now they can have their community and their lifestyle, but I see that in the community that I'm currently living in, that it's being used as an indoctrination, and that I find in particular within the black community that they're not hiring men, the black men, for certain positions. But if they have a homosexual way about them, then it seems like they're acceptable to work for white people. And that I have a concern with. What about those, because most people are not gay. So what about those who are straight, who want to find a job? So only if has that bent to him, or is he considered okay for certain jobs? See, that's what I'm getting at. I'm not getting at someone's preference. I'm talking about social engineering. Why don't you see black men pursuing and showing an interest in their own kind? Because they are being socialized to not be attracted to you. Or the black woman, why is she acting the way she is? Because she's not taught that she's beautiful. And maybe some of them are going into the lesbian movement out of anger, just like with Gloria Steinem from the 1960s and 70s. So these are some of the concerns I have. And this, the women's movement is like, it came out from the black movement, and that you have groups who are piggybacking all for the black movement, and more other groups, I feel, is getting is benefiting off of the Civil Rights Act, and then we're being despised. So the same groups that benefited, you have other, what you call minority groups. And then some of them are saying, well, I'm not even black anymore. That they're saying, no, we're not black people. We're such and such. So then they're going to despise their black heritage, but then they love the work that my black predecessors done. And that this is what the whole 360-degree turn that I'm doing. That, see, I grew up to despise myself and my black heritage, but seeing these things that have happened to me and seeing innocent people getting hurt, and I said, wow, you know, I don't like this. And that I don't want to take the American black for granted anymore. I realize how much they sacrifice for me. See, when someone sacrifices, or let's say your own personal family, when your family sacrifices for you to go to school or certain opportunities, you can't then just stab them in the back or say, well, I got what I wanted, now you know, I don't need you anymore. I can't do that to Black America. I was angry before, and I've done videos and I discuss my anger that I had within the black community, but being angry and then turning your back, I would never turn my back. I could be angry and verbalize my concern when we do things as a group that isn't right. We're not perfect, but I think we're being manipulated, and we're starting to act out at times. So now I'm seeing, you know, that we're not coming together as a group. And I'm seeing even within the white communities that they're starting to separate also. That then they're going outside of the group for love also. Because now we're starting to hate one another. But I want us as a whole country, to come together, because I feel that things are going to be happening very quickly to ruin our nation. I love this country. I really love my country. I now really appreciate what my parents done for me, what other black people have done for this country. How could you turn your back? How could you say, oh, I'm not a member of that race? But that you are. And then you teach your kids, oh, don't hang around with those black people, or go around with these people. I think it's pathetic. See, I'm hurt, and that's what you're sensing. This video, it's about being hurt and feeling betrayed, and then coming to a realization that, you know, it's about self-love. You got to love yourself. And I think the only thing that's going to cure this country is for us to go within and say, you know, I love you. And that, you know, the things that happen to you in life, whether historically or in your current life, that it's just an event, and it doesn't make you that. It just means that you that things happen to you, but you are not what happened to you. But it's a learning experience. And again, we are, you know, I agree with some of the things what Betty says, that, you know, it's about us coming together and learning to love each other. But most of all, it's about truth. Remember in the beginning of this live stream when I talked about the peppermint? I don't know, Betty, whether you saw the beginning where this peppermint, it says peppermint, but when you read the ingredients, let's see. How do you get it there? Okay, if you could read it. Oh, how do you do it? See that there? You could. I hope you can read. It's really hard to see it. See, it says green tea. The first ingredient is green tea, not peppermint. And then the second ingredient is peppermint. But yet on the outside of the box, it says it says peppermint tea. And I started this video about what is truth. When you're told that your truth is that you're ugly, and that you're bad, and you're dirty, that's not truth. We all are beautiful inside, all of us. And we have to expose the lies that we're taught about ourselves. We're being taught that we're ugly. Some of you are being taught that you're a boy when you're a girl, or that you're a girl but you're actually a boy. You're told all these things and these lies about you, and you go into a bondage, and then you go into a lifestyle that's dangerous. And that's detrimental to the community you live in. Real life, it's about going with nature. See, you don't go against nature. When you go against nature, you're going against natural law, and you cannot thrive in that. You're showing that you are a hater of Mother Earth. That's in my opinion. Start really examining why you feel the way you do, why you're acting out, why you're beating up people, why you're bleaching your hair, why you perming your hair, why you straightening. Why can't you just love the person you see in the mirror? Once you really be able to answer those questions, then I think everything else will fall in the right place. And then you learn that the grass is green where you plant where you water. If you want green grass, you start adding water to your lawn. Don't look at the other people's lawn out there. Water your own lawn so that it becomes green and lush. And maybe this whole truth about like why people are coming into the US, because they have a belief that this place is greener or better than their own. My answer, my response to that is, why not find out and fix what's going on in your country so you don't have to sneak your children and jeopardizing their safety to come into this country. Start watering the grass in your lawn where you live so you don't have to come here. Start educating from within. Start addressing to your government. Say, hey, you're not doing for us. We're paying taxes and you're not giving us social services. We want change. But you know what's happening in Mexico and a lot of places there, that the indigenous people are being held back. So again, it's just a residue of colonialism. And the colonial system was about who is the master and who's going to be the servant. And it was the lie was that one is better than the other. See, again, everything is about what is truth. And some people take truth and then they distort the truth, and then they use that as a weapon of control against others. See how everything comes together. Everything comes together. So, I don't know what else to say, but we have to realize that all this is going on for a reason, and that we need to start going within and start being truthful to ourselves, you know, so we don't have to lie. We don't have to get a box and say that it's a peppermint tea and it's mint tea. Or tell a boy that you meet that they're a girl and they're not. Start being honest with yourself and start being honest with others. I think we start being honest, that it's going to help heal the nation. Because when people are lied to, they get angry. And maybe all this is a blowout of all these distortions in life. So I know I said a lot here, and let's see, did I read this note? Yeah, so that's all that I have to say. Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to add before I close? I'm just giving you time, you guys time. Okay, so I'm going to close this live stream. And again, I want to emphasize that this video isn't a hate speech, that I really love you guys out there. I love innocence, I love purity, and I like truth. And I love my country. And it's not evil for an American to say that they're a proud American. I welcome all in this country lawfully entering in, and all the people who want to live here and be a part of the fabric of this country and not to go against it. This is the best place to live for me right now, and I just want to keep its continuity. So I thank you all for watching this live stream, and I wish you all a very, very peaceful Saturday afternoon. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.